A couple of overhauls, immersive non-Slooty armors, and some clever game improvements. Yes, the mods on Nexus are poppin', and so is this channel, so thank you all. The support's been amazing. But still, did you know that 72.5% of you watching my last vid weren't actually subscribed? Ladies and gentlemen, let's try to get that number down a bit by hitting that red gorgeous subscribe button and the notification bell to never miss that good Skyrim mods content. Now that that's done, let's get into the very first couple of mods of the video. To start off, we've got 3 very similar mods from the same mod author, so I just present them all together. This mod author actually made me aware of something I hadn't noticed before in my adventures in the lands of Skyrim. Many of the flowers in game actually look a bit, well, no, not a bit, they look very shit. So first, let's fix that by installing the mod Mountain Flower by Mary SE. And as you can see, the mountain flowers actually look like flowers now rather than some low effort withered bush. The mod gives you both 1K and 2K files to replace the low res vanilla ones. Everything from the stem up to the leaves and the very petals have been redone on all the color variations of the flower. As I went around admiring my new gorgeous lush mountain flowers, I made quick notice of the bad state of the other flowers of Skyrim, and as I went on Nexus to find something to correct that, the mod author behind the mountain flowers had sure enough covered those flowers as well. Not a fan of the look of the lavender? Then Mary's got you covered. Once again bringing new life to these flowers through her sharp and vibrant textures. These bluish lavenders are an iconic part of the Skyrim landscape, so they should definitely look good. Last, there's also a mod that covers the thistles to make them pop more. The darkest stem and vines really make a big difference in the way it contrasts with the bright flower itself. As this nice comment on Nexus said, she's beautifying Skyrim one flower at a time. All of these 3 mods are worth downloading to get high quality flowers that'll nicely color up the otherwise bleak nature of Skyrim. From beautiful flowers to slimy, grim spider sacks, we've got the mod SSE SRO Enhanced Spider Sack. The mod author behind this one aims to overhaul those spider sacks or bags in the caves containing spider eggs. You're given 5 different disgustingly good options to choose from. There's a brown one if you'd like that chocolate egg look, an alien looking green one, and my personal favorite, the white textured one where those veins or whatever they are really pop out. Then there's a light grey option as well as a darker grey one for a more subtle yet haunting look. All the sacks are of good quality, as you can choose between both a 4K and 2K option. It really adds to that creepy vibe of these spider caves. I remember I used to piss my pants when exploring these dark steps of Skyrim when I was younger. I can't imagine how bad it would be if I had textures like the ones on these spider sacks back then. As this guy on Nexus states, this definitely ties with Schlongs of Skyrim in the best modded sacks category. Man, I love this community. The cities of Windhelm, Whiterun and Solitude are all integral and memorable parts of the Skyrim experience, but sometimes these cities just feel a bit empty, and the mod Leaf Eater's 3-in-1 tree overhaul aims to fix that by adding a healthy amount of trees and flora to these cities. It's an all-in-one package of the mod author's previous works for each city. As you can see from this footage of Solitude here, this is not a mod that just adds a bunch of random trees everywhere. The mod authors made sure to place the trees and the flora in places it fits perfectly. That way the cities still keep that original immersive look of theirs. It adds just enough to make for a nice subtle and natural change. The city of Windhelm just looks more complete now, with these large trees covered in snow befit of the surrounding area. I must say that I truly appreciate when mod authors look to improve on these cities without making changes to the way they feel. I mean, Windhelm's always been this kind of dark, cold and gritty part of Skyrim. Now the place where you'll notice the biggest change is probably the city of Whiterun, which actually fits the place quite nicely. Whiterun's always been a kind of warm, woody city, if that makes sense, and the trees really add to that. My Whiterun looks amazing under the gleam of the setting sun, so I'll definitely keep this in my load order. Oh, and if you wondered, the mod is fully compatible with JK Skyrim, so you'll have no issues there. We'll stick to the city of Whiterun for now, as this next mod of the video replaces the look of everyone's beloved housecarl, Lydia. This is a beautiful Lydia replacer or lazy custom follower. This simple mod makes Lydia more beautiful, although I guess that's up to personal preference. It's done quite well on Nexus, so I guess most people agree with that. I gotta admit, it does make her look more anime-like, if I may, but then again, it makes her look approachable and like a more joyful person. I mean, not to hate too much on vanilla Lydia, but she got that mean look in her eyes. Now don't worry, that slooty piece of armor doesn't come with the mod, so you just put her in whatever you deem fit and you'll have a new, fresh, gorgeous looking Lydia on your hands. If you like the look of her but don't want to replace the vanilla Lydia, then you can download the lazy custom follower version instead in the file section. Next is another small mod. This one fixes an issue I've had for a while with the widely popular mod Wet and Cold on Nexus. As you also may have noticed before, the breath textures look kinda strange and unnatural when paired up with most ENBs. It looks so freaking bright, like they're breathing out ice like some frost dragon. The mod Wet and Cold Breath texture for ENB simply turns down the transparency a bit, to make it look more real. This may not be something you notice that much when playing, but I can't help feeling good when I see that subtle breaths of air coming out of the NPC's mouths when talking to people in the colder parts of Skyrim. So if you've got Wet and Cold installed along with an ENB, I do recommend getting this as well. Now guys, if you take a moment to look for some new outfit and armor mods over on Nexus, you'll probably find a lot of skimpy looking slooty armors. Now I'll be the first to admit, okay, I've got many of these kinds of armors in my load order, as they've always come with a certain asset that I very much enjoy. But less isn't always more, as ZerderX showed us in the last Skyrim mods video. Ashlander Apparel SSE CBBE Bodyslide with Physics brings 3 outfits from an older mod with a new 4th option. All the outfits and the different parts come in a variety of colors. First there's a Ahemusa, I do hope I pronounced that right, which is a real desert themed looking outfit that actually fits quite well into the game. Then there's something called a Rabinimson outfit that's got that ancient Greece vibe with that short skirt. Now do remember that pretty much everything you've seen until now comes in different colors, so here's a dark version of the outfit with a dark set of boots and arm wraps. You can also remove some parts completely, it's all up to you and your preferences, something that I really appreciate about this mod. Then there's a Urshilaku that comes with a longer skirt with some nice patterns on the front. It may just be the one I like the most. It looks like something of use to an adventurer at the same time as being perfect for a nice night out in the tavern. Then last up there's a newly added Zainab outfit that looks quite similar to the first one. It has some added textures here and there though. All the Ashlander dresses look quite simple and not too over the top. Perfect for all kinds of playthroughs, whether you're a bard, herbalist or an adventurer. Next up, we got a truly innovative mod that expands on the game mechanics. Have you ever looked at a broomstick or a pan, picked it up, and wondered why you're not able to use it as a weapon? Let's say you gotta act fast and pick up the closest thing to use in combat. So I recommend the mod Common Weapons. Yes, now even the most useless of clutter has a purpose other than being aesthetically pleasing. The mod adds 12 everyday items converted for use as weapons. You'll be able to use anything from the deadly fishing poles, shovels, broomsticks, and more. See an oar? Just pick it up and you've got another weapon. All these items make for some real fun gameplay moments. Take a look at this soup kitchen combo with the ladle and the frying pan. Need to kill a shameless whore? Check. Frost troll? Check. Putting an end to the annoying Nazim? Check. It's immersive, useful, and fun, so give it a go and unleash your fury on the people of Skyrim. Now it's time for the Pull Mastery Hookshot or Grappling Hook SE, a mod adding new spells that allows players to shoot different kinds of chains and ropes for either traversing or attacking. You can pick between 3 looks for what you'll shoot out of your palms. You've got the chained and rope version, as well as an interesting spiderweb version for those looking to become the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man of Skyrim. All of the versions feature the transport spell that lets you shoot and stick onto things you'll transport to. This works best in places with lots of structures. The transportation experience is actually pretty smooth and fun, and can come in handy when wanting to get out of danger. The attack-oriented spells are also very fun to play with. All the different chains feature a spell that pulls a target towards the spellcaster. In addition, there's a chain spear or stunning that paralyzes the target at impact for a couple of seconds, as well as something called the Fiery Reach, which sets the target on fire when pulling them towards you. These spells may be a bit overpowered, but they do use stamina. All in all, it's a fun mod, and the chains pair up well for some cool character builds. I do wish the chains were actually visible, you know, wrapped around the arm or something, as that will look pretty badass. Next is a small mod that just adds a little extra something to your Skyrim role-playing experience. This is Relationship Change Notifications. There's already a working system in Skyrim that detects whether an NPC likes you or not, depending on what you've done previously. That's how NPCs like the various drunkards are able to say stuff like, "Well, if it isn't my favorite drinking buddy," after you've treated them to a drink. This mod just adds notifications to that to let you know when your relationship with an NPC changes. Let's say you complete the quest Isolda gives you and give her that thick mammoth's tusk. You'll get a notification letting you know that she now considers you a friend. The green plus sign signifying a positive change in the relationship, and as you'd guess, the red opposite sign of course means there's a negative change. If you're interested, there is also an optional file on the mod page that gives you a notification at the start of every conversation stating your current relationship rank with that NPC. NPC, as well as letting you know who's available for marriage. The mod won't cause you any issues in your load order, so I do recommend to give it a go. Last up, we've got the mod L-Razor's Glowing Objects. If you're like me and suck at paying attention to the smaller details when exploring caves and doing quests, then this mod's for you. It provides your game with a set of meshes and textures that make in-game objects like levers, buttons, puzzles, and traps glow. So basically all stuff of importance will now glow. While it may seem like a so-called cheat mod, I'd say it turns Skyrim into a more of an RPG game. You know, it's kinda like that floating text and glow you see over objects when playing The Witcher. Opportunistic items like levers, chains, and buttons will have a blue glow, while dangerous traps that'll put you in danger will have that alarming red glow. Even coin purses will have that nice green glow to them, so you'll never miss that gold when looting. If you think the glow is a bit too intense and distracting, then there's a dim version you can install instead, as well as various standalone files for each object you can choose if you, let's say, don't want puzzles and that kind of stuff to glow. It's a mod that makes cave exploring a bit more enjoyable and complete, and I like it when stuff glows, so if you feel the same, it's a great mod to install. And there we have it, folks. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. A like and or a comment would be a great way to let me know. Oh, and before I end the video, I know some of you were wondering what kind of graphics mods I got installed. My graphics mods mainly consists of mods that make improvements to the visuals without giving it any immersion breaking features. So to get visuals similar to mine, get the Rudy E and B and pair it up with stuff like enhanced lights and effects, obsidian weathers and seasons, pure waters, and verdant. Nothing too much, to be honest. I'll list them down in the description for a more complete overview. And yeah, so I guess that's that. This has been Gim. May your road lead you to warm sands, everyone. See ya.